Good afternoon. The court's going to take up the next case on the court's docket. This is C200175CPS. This is in the interest of Maverick Joshua Rangel, a child. The case is set for a permanency hearing and also a continuation of a hearing that commenced on July 8, 2021, relating to a motion for monitor return filed by the respondent, Father Michael Rangel, through his attorney. The hearing today is being conducted pursuant to emergency orders of the Texas Supreme Court via Zoom video conference. Participating in the hearing today on behalf of the department is caseworker Taylor Duryea and Regional Attorney Deborah Keenum. The mother of the child is Macy Watson, I believe, is participating in the hearing today. Andrew Graves is her attorney ad litem, and I believe Mr. Graves will be participating in the hearing. I don't see him on the screen at this moment, but I think he'll be joining us shortly. The father of the child is Michael Rangel, and Mr. Rangel is participating in the hearing today with his attorney, Emily Martinez. The attorney and guardian ad litem for the child is Tiffany Shepard, and Ms. Shepard is participating in the hearing today. The court is excusing the child from participating in the hearing today. As I noted earlier, the court had set this for a permanency hearing and also a continuation of a hearing on a motion for monitor return. In reviewing the court file, I did not see, however, any permanency report filed by the department. That will preclude the court proceeding with the permanency hearing, but we can take up, if the parties are ready to do so, the continuation of the motion for monitor return that was filed by Mr. Rangel. Ms. Keenum, is the department ready to proceed as to that motion?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Martinez, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Graves, are you ready to proceed?
Ready, Your Honor.
And Ms. Shepard?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm ready.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, as I noted, there was a hearing that was held on June 8, 2021, at which time the court had heard some evidence relating to possible monitor return of the child to Mr. Rangel, and the court ordered some increased visitation for the father, but deferred any ruling on that motion at that time. And so I'll take up where we are at this point. I'll allow the department, let's see here, is anybody invoking the rule? The rule is not invoked. All right. Well, I guess technically, Ms. Martinez, since this is your motion, I should let you go first. So do you have any witness you want to call on the issue?
Your Honor, can I first get hear from counsel about whether they oppose or join this motion?
All right. As I noted, there's a pending motion. Ms. Keenum, what is the department's position on a monitor return of the child to Mr. Rangel at this time?
The department is not opposed to the monitored return. Am I correct, Taylor? That's been staffed?
That's correct.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Graves, your client's position on the monitor return?
Your Honor, we've only had, and I've been in court all day today, as the court's aware, but I haven't had an opportunity to personally visit. She's called my office a couple of times today and had an appointment that she wasn't able to make. If I may have a few moments to visit with her privately.
Okay, I can arrange that. Let me go ahead and see if Ms. Shepard has a position and she's ready to take, just so you can be aware of whatever that position may be.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Shepard, do you have a position on the motion?
Yes, Your Honor. I am unopposed to the monitored return. I don't know if I'd go so far as that I am joining in the motion, but I am not opposed, Your Honor. I think we have a duty to try to reunite this child with a parent. And it seems that Mr. Rangel has completed a majority of his services, if not all, and that would be my position at this time, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Graves, you know approximately how much time you might need, so I can factor that in. 5 minutes, you can,
I would say 5 minutes, Judge, and I can notify the court if we need additional.
okay. I show it's about 4:43 right now. I'll go ahead and just put you in there until 4:50. That's about 7 minutes. If you need more time, we'll take that up. Y'all
Thank you.
stand by, Miss Rangel, excuse me, Miss Watson, I'm sorry. I'll be sending you and Mr. Graves an invitation to join that breakout room. You'll need to click on that link so you can go in there. You'll just stand by for just a second. All right, y'all should be getting an invitation to join that breakout room. If you'll click on that link, you can go in there and I'll bring you back out in a few minutes. All right, sorry for the delay, but if the rest of y'all will stand by, we'll resume the hearing in just a few minutes. We'll have a short recess. Thank you. Ms. Drake. Bring him back in now. Thank you. We are back on the record in C200175CPS. All parties in council previously present remain present in the courtroom. Mr. Graves, did you have an opportunity to visit with Ms. Watson?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And you know what our position is on the motion?
Yes, Your Honor. If I may, Macy understands she's been out of custody recently. She understands the situation. She also understands the parental presumption and the fact that Mr. Rangel has been working his services and being successful at it. That being said, I mean, obviously she wants her child and she wants to continue to work her services, which I've advised her is certainly part of the plan, continuing going forward. Reluctantly, of course, we're not objecting to that placement at this time. She's still going to strive to regain custody of her child. And she also understands that this is going to be a long-term project with this age of a child. You got 16 more years to work with Mr. Rangel as parents. You're going to have to do it. However, she does want to work back towards getting Maverick home. Two other quick things, and Your Honor, I'm not trying to take any more time, but I think we've saved some time with not needing to have a hearing. However, Ms. Watson has been seeing Maverick since her release and has been seeing him on a pretty regular basis. She would like to work toward getting unsupervised visitation. I understand, and I did advise her that that's going to require a little bit of proper showing on her part of visitation and services, but we would like to get that in everybody's mind as soon as we can. Also, I think, this kiddo's been with granddad, maternal granddad, for 7 months now. And he's not my client. I don't represent him. However, I do know that there's obviously a bit of a bond there. And I'd hate for him to not be able to at least maintain some kind of contact with Maverick, just because I think that'd be healthy for Maverick to maintain some kind of contact with his caregiver, who is also blood relative. And if things, hopefully it won't happen, but if things don't turn out the way that everybody wants with a full reunification, he's going to need to be in the wings anyway. So I'm sorry, pardon my lengthiness. I apologize.
No problem. Okay. And regarding the grandfather having some contact, I'm assuming the department and having an objection, if y'all can work something out. Okay.
The department does not have an objection to that, and Mr. Druyer will work on working that out and see if Mr. Rangel and the maternal grandfather can work that out, or if we need to have that something formalized, but we'll make sure that continues to occur.
Ms. Shepherd, any thoughts about that issue?
I would echo a lot of what Mr. Graves stated. He has a very strong bond to his grandpa. And I think it's important that contact continue if at all possible. And hopefully Mr. Rangel and Mr. Watson can come to an agreement on their own. But I would advocate very strongly for continued contact between grandpa and Maverick if possible.
Thank you. And Ms. Martinez, I'm assuming if the court were to grant monitor return as requested, that the client would try to facilitate something.
Yes, Your Honor. The only concern I have is that I received reports that when Miss Watson was released from jail, she did go over to her father's home. So maybe we do need something formal in place that establishes boundaries if we're going to allow Josh to visit with Mr. Rangel and Maverick. That's the only thing. But yes, I'm willing to facilitate that as well.
First, as the motion of the month to return, the court will find that the court should grant that motion and or the department to place the child with Mr. Rangel on the month to return. The department would remain as temporary managing conservator. The child would have the right to make announced and unannounced visits to the home to check on the safety and welfare of the child and to remove the child from that placement if necessary to protect the safety and welfare of the child. I'm not going to make any specific orders about the grandfather having contact. I would encourage everyone to try to work through that. I would remind the parties that the mother's visitation or contact with the child would need to be subject to her visitation plan, and she should not have any contact that's not approved by the department with the child. So if the child is having some contact with the father, the grandfather, that'll need to be approved by the department in advance. And if we need to put something more specific relating to that, or also address any visitation by the mother, increase or unsupervised visitation, we have another permanency hearing that's set right now, September 13th at 10 a.m. and I'm going to leave that set. For now, the trial will remain set on November 10th, 2021 at 10 a.m. I may adjust that a little bit because the dismissal date may change a little bit due to the bond for return, but for now, I'm going to leave those two settings in place. A bond return is exactly what it sounds like. The child will be placed with you, Mr. Rangel. The department will have the duty and responsibility to make sure the child is being appropriately cared for during that time period. That's for two reasons. One, to make sure you're caring for the child properly, but also to try to assist you with that placement. That is, however, a temporary order. This is not a final order. No decision's been made or being made at this time as to the long-term placement of the child. That remains the subject of potentially further litigation down the road. I would remind each parent that because of the nature of these proceedings, your parental custodial rights and duties to your child may be subject to restriction or even termination, and your progress in any court orders or plan of service will be reviewed at future hearings. You're still expected both to continue to work on your service plans. That's in your interest and the interest of your child, so I encourage you both to do so. Unless there's anything else.
I have one thing, Your Honor, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I have something in the order that says his child support will be suspended during the monitored return?
Yes, I'll suspend the child support effective today. As a support, that won't affect any support that's accrued up to this point, but going forward, so I'd ask the department to include an order in there that it suspends that child support effective today. Thank you.